This is a very special design series where we take a look at innovations and design-led solutions from around the country. Welcome to Australia by Design Innovations. I'm here at the CSIRO testing facility here in Newcastle, where many pieces of innovation are put under the microscope. And at the CSIRO Sydney headquarters, we have our design industry leaders gathered, judging each project and selecting the top 10 innovation from the series.
It's been incredibly interesting to see the diversity around the table, the arguments that have been taking place, to really try and nut out which project is going to float to the top and take out the best innovation in Australia.
First up, a medical device that could have huge implications worldwide.
Overprescription of antibiotics is a big problem around the world. This next story is set to tackle that problem head on.
It's amazing to think that with so many medical innovations happening worldwide, that something as common as the cold and flu could be overlooked.
What brings you here today?
I've been a bit worried about Zoe. She hasn't been feeling great the last few days. Do you think she needs antibiotics?
It's a bit hard to tell. 80% of these things are viral and 20% are bacterial. And early on, sometimes the symptoms can be a bit mixed. We've got a new test that can help us decide. It requires a drop of blood and we know the result within 10 minutes. We don't want to give antibiotics unnecessarily.
Sasha, so while we're waiting for Zoe's results, do you mind showing me a bit of what's actually happening?
There's a lot of science going on in the cartridge, which allows us to open up all the blood cells, grab onto the components within the blood that we want to measure, which then shows us whether or not someone has a bacterial or a viral test, and the doctor can look at that from the test itself. 90% of patients who go to a doctor with a head cold or a flu, they end up getting antibiotics prescribed today. And more than half of them actually don't need antibiotics at all. And so we now have a problem where we have superbugs, where antibiotics are ineffective and patients can't recover from those infections. Our next generation devices, which we've been building upon at the moment, includes a really small camera, and that will then allow us to track patient progression through the infection over time. This device also can shoot data up into the cloud, which means that as we move into the home environment, patients can buy the test in the pharmacy, run it at home. The doctor can then write a prescription and the patient can go and get that filled themselves. So it means that the infection itself is contained within the home, but the patient can still be treated.
Well, let's go and check out Zoe's results.
Look, Sue, the good news is that the test shows that it's viral. At this stage, there's no need for antibiotics.
Oh, fantastic. All right, thank you so much, Keith.
This little product is changing the whole way we approach treating one of our most common illnesses. It could be the kryptonite to the superbug.
Next, an innovation from Perth designed to simplify a chef's life.
The food preparation station's been put together by an experienced chef, and only someone with his experience could come up with this flexible approach, not only for commercial kitchens but also for everyday cooks.
Damien, tell me what this thing is.
So this is the mobile food preparation station.
The mobile food preparation station.
That's correct.
And who's your friend over here?
Oh, this is our head chef, Kian, from 300 Acres. He's here to demonstrate the old way that we do things, and this is the new way that we're about to do it.
Oh, so bad chef, good chef.
Yes. We do have the divisions in regards to our waste. Food scraps are getting put into the bin as well. We want to stop that. I'm doing my prep chicken, as will be. That there we know is going straight into our stock pot. And so therefore, with something like this here where it becomes a hazard, well, we don't have that here. We have everything in front of us here. It's so much more easier to divide everything.
See what I really liked about this as well. I mean, straight up, everything is at one level. The chances of knocking something off is actually minimal.
Oh, man.
Like that.
Like that.
So he's thrown that food away because it's hit the ground.
Well, it's hit the ground. The trays that he had there to use, he now needs to go and set them into the dishwasher.
All right, now we're on to the veggies, right?
Yeah, that's correct. Might look as if it's going to be a little bit of a mess, but really it's not, because what we're going to do is we're just going to push everything into
Waste
there.
goes in here,
absolutely.
carrots have been peeled are going here.
That's correct. We're changing that whole hand movement, is that instead of us going up to come down, to cut and then to lift and put in, we're actually just coming across, cutting, and we're sweeping. Time is absolutely paramount, and we're always under pressure in the kitchen.
He is making an absolute mess on that floor.
Unfortunately, and that happens in most kitchens. But you know, that actually becomes a bit of a hazard, Brandon, and it's a slip or a trip hazard there to start with.
And somebody's got
to clean that.
Yeah, you're
absolutely.
Not. You haven't.
Well,
dropped
as you
one
can see,
single
we
thing.
have got nothing here at all.
You're certainly the good chef here. I like this. This is the exact same multifunction station that we had in the kitchen, and we brought it out here, and it's turned into a servery.
We can't bring the kitchen outside, but we can certainly bring this table out. And you know, that brings truth to the fact that it is a multifunctional unit and table.
Kane, I have to thank you. You're actually not a bad chef. You're the head chef here at 300 Acres. Thanks for playing along with us, mate, and being a good sport. Damien has taken his 30-year experience of being a chef and designed a really clever solution that will improve the efficiency, the safety, and the hygiene of how food is prepared. And it's going to prevent less food waste going into landfill.
After the break, I'm a crash test dummy. We've gathered a group of design industry leaders at the CSIRO to judge and select the best design innovations for the year. Time for some crash testing.
I really like the Smart Bar. I know it's made for industrial applications, but I also remember listening to the beep, beep, beep in my car and then hitting a pole, wondering, what was that noise?
We've come to Adelaide to look at the latest in car safety. Kev, I just want to start with an apology, mate. I'm very sorry.
No stress, mate.
I didn't even see the pole. I backed right into it. I probably ruined it.
No, not at all, mate. Our blokes here have done a lot worse than that, so I totally understand it. Over a period of time, with a bit of warmth and sun, the bar actually comes back to shape afterwards. You wouldn't even know that it hit anything.
It's incredible. There's no steel or anything inside this.
Correct. It's a really unique blend of polymers, which is going to cause less damage and less injury to whatever they hit.
Right. So it's not just about protecting the car and the driver. It's about protecting the pedestrians as well.
Absolutely.
And the roos.
Correct.
Yeah, wow.
Any animal that it strikes, basically, it's going to be less damaging. We've got video footage hitting a cow at 100 kilometres an hour, and the cow gets up and runs off.
No way.
True story.
I'm interested to see how this thing performs. May I?
Let's go do it, mate. There you go. Come on. Don't be scared.
Woo! What about that? I tell you what.
Let's have a look at it.
We hit it pretty hard. Oh, that's a pretty good impact.
That's fine though, mate. That'll come back to shape.
It's amazing, and the car's not damaged at all.
It's beautiful, isn't it?
Amazing, mate. Well, I've had my fun, and now I really want to see how this thing comes together. So tell me the process, Kieran, because this is really interesting.
What we do is we get a 3D digital scan of the vehicle.
Yep.
We place that into the computer, and we use that to design the Smart Bar for that vehicle.
The smart in this is pretty high tech, right? There's sensors and all sorts of stuff.
Yes, so with the Mercedes Sprinter, we've made the Smart Bar compatible with all the safety systems of the vehicle.
That's awesome. What a process.
Yeah, it's quite complex. There's a lot of time and effort goes into modelling up these products.
Yeah. All of this rotational moulding is done here in Australia, on site here.
Yep, we make all our parts out in the factory just behind me.
So this is the material that actually gets heated up, and then in the rotational moulder, it actually starts to coat the interior of that mould, which you just catted up, right?
Correct. So
Genius.
the hollow construction
Yep.
and the material properties make it come back to its original shape after the impact.
Because of its 85% impact absorption technology, it's not only saving the lives of those inside the vehicle, but those outside as well. Mate, this is fun.
Well done.
Can we do it again?
Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, let's do it again.
Okay.
Baby strollers are tough to design right because they have to be safe and comfortable for baby and parent alike. They also have to be foldable and configurable. The Maxi Cozy they just nailed it in every respect.
A newborn brings plenty of challenges. Your pram should not be one of them. Good design ensures that this essential part of your new life actually integrates with your day, rather than imposes on it. So Leanne, prams have certainly come a long way since I had little ones.
They certainly have, and from me too, they've evolved. But Maxi Cozy is mostly known for car seats, and they've been around since the 50s. But what they've done is taken all of the safety and comfort from a car seat and translated that into strollers.
And I just really love the look from the parent's perspective, that just because you had a baby doesn't mean that you turned into a baby. It's nice that it's so contemporary looking.
And sophisticated. It's beautiful, isn't it? Maxi-Cosi worked with paediatricians to design an inlay that really creates a most secure and comfortable environment for the baby. And that's to help overcome flathead syndrome when baby's lying on its back all the time. When they're older, we like them to sit up a little bit when they're forward facing. So you'll see that this innovative stroller bed is flat right now, but then when I bring this up like this, it actually turns into an angled seat.
Proper little chair.
That's right, so it's actually a seamless transition.
Okay, Leanne, but what about the all-important fold? There's nothing more embarrassing as a new mum than struggling with a pram in the back of the car.
Absolutely, one of the things that Maxi-Cosi obviously thought about, everything can be done with one hand. I'm clicking one side and I don't have to touch that. I'll give this to you, Terry. There we
Great.
go. I've still got my baby. All I need to do is push this and slide down.
It's so compact.
Easy. So Maxi-Cosi looked at all the inconveniences that parents had to put up with all the time. And what we've done is address all of those in this one stroller to create really something that gives people confidence and the ability to go about their lives knowing their baby's safe and comfortable.
There are times when innovation leaps into the market and changes everything overnight. But what we've seen here is an example of design is in the details. Small changes that have a really big impact.
Next, some inspiring Sydney lights.
Thanks to JLL and Lendlease, Christmas has come early to Sydney-siders who will really love this upgrade to the old lady of the Sydney CBD.
One iconic building in the Sydney skyline has remained dark until now. So Glenn, clearly you don't get an effect like this with just a flick of a switch.
No, it starts with a phone call. This one did, anyway. Old technology, landline call from Lendlease, who said they had a maintenance problem. The neon was failing on the building.
Like Houston, we've got a problem?
Oh, probably not as bad. This was in touch with the ground.
Yeah, okay.
And so we assembled a team that looked at all the issues, what available technology, the cost, and 6 years later you see what's behind us.
That looks unbelievable, but what have you got in your hand?
This is the heart of it all.
Yeah.
It's a flexible LED strip. Neon projects the light forward.
Right.
So this was developed to try and mimic neon as best
why it's
possible.
got that round
That's why it's a dome shape.
Yeah.
And also it has some tinting in it to give it a bit more blue because it's hard to replicate the midnight blue that was there before, but it's very close. The technology gave us the ability to not just change colour, but vary and modulate the colour. So like a TV screen.
So can we change colour now?
Whatever you want.
So if
give
I
it a
say
go.
I want to have a green, what do I have to do? Click my fingers?
Give that a try.
No, it's done it. What about red? Oh, here it goes. I love it.
We haven't got Siri, but we've got Beth. The software really is key to it and how portable it is. The installation was finished 4 days before Christmas and I was sitting across the bridge there directing the lighting guys who delivered us a Christmas tree at Christmas. So that was the result of a phone call and the magic of Beth.
I want that number.
We felt very passionate about bringing back such an iconic part of the Sydney skyline that's been so well recognised for so many years. We've already utilised it for National Reconciliation Week, which was a great opportunity to have some unique artwork that was specifically designed
on cue.
There you go. By Indigenous artists who featured that for that week. And I think it will be a feature of the skyline that Sydney-siders will continue to love for many years to come.
Yeah, me too. Standing on top of Sydney, we're in a sea of light. But this is a beacon to efficiency, innovation, and above all, fun.
After the break, Brandon finds a solution to problems on both sides of the planet. Welcome back to Australia by Design Innovation. Now, ultimately, we are looking for the #1 innovation for this year, and our judges will select just 1 or 2 from this episode to go through to our series final. But next, a piece of innovation that is a much bigger idea than it first appears.
In this next story, we're going to hear about 3 men and a baby bottle and how they identified a solution to a real life and death problem.
Here is an Aussie idea that was sparked in Zambia that will make a big difference to our lives here, but solve a much bigger problem over there. Hey guys, where did you meet?
Oh, we met in Zambia.
Yeah, at the jazz club.
And I was
at a jazz club. Yeah, and you're still singing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So moved to Zambia, set up my charitable organisation, and I could just see HIV was an epidemic.
As I understand, you've adopted someone?
Yeah, we have. We have a 11-year-old now, but her mother, unfortunately, she passed away from AIDS, and she was one of our patients in our program, but we just couldn't get to her in time.
Do you have a photo of her?
Yeah, sure.
She was 4 here.
Yeah.
Yeah, now she's 11.
There's over 300 children still dying every day, and over 400 a day still contracting. It's up to about 45% transmission rate from a mother to child.
Through breastfeeding, yeah.
And that's just a recurring problem. That's just
and it
going
gets
round
bigger and
round.
bigger. So I got some mates together in Perth and come up with a solution which was tackling all the problems I could see.
Adam, you haven't just been wheeled in as a brand ambassador. I mean, you really believe in this product, and you're co-designing it as well.
Yeah, involved in the design process. Brendan is a great mate of mine. I believe in him and his passion for this and why he came up with this concept as well.
Can you please show us how this thing works?
Sure, mate. Very simple. We unscrew the lid. Yeah. We peel back this foil.
All right, and it just
Capsule drops in.
drops straight in. Yeah, it hasn't touched anything. It's completely
nothing.
sterile.
And then give it a shake.
Let me try that. Job done. That was super easy. There was no stuffing around with measuring formula, getting the water right, sterilising it. It's all just, ready to go.
Yeah, and let's give
a taste of. Shannon and I have had 4 kids, so theirs are all grown up now, but we do a lot of travelling these days and getting around, so we thought to be able to take a product that's got the right water in there, the right formula, we take a carton of beer for us, we take a carton of these for the baby along, it's good to go.
We go to the vending machine and get a Coke or a bottle of water, and we pay $3.50 or whatever it is. If your baby's hungry...
Oh, you pay 10 times that.
Gonna pay, would you?
Yeah. I reckon this product has incredible potential to make our lives as parents just a little bit more convenient, as well as solving a bigger problem in other parts of the world. What do you reckon, Pepper? Yeah?
Next, an innovation that's all about starting.
I didn't realise that large machines on the mines don't have an on-off switch. These guys have taken starting to a new level.
The mining industry is booming with innovations that a lot of us don't get to see, and most of them start with this design. So Chris, you're going to have to forgive me. I have no idea what a starter is. Can you give me a background?
Certainly. So there's a really short answer. A starter is a thing that puts power onto a piece of electrical equipment. The important thing about that, though, is that it takes the power off if there's a problem. And it's really the off bit that matters, right? If there's a fault in the machine, if you don't do the right thing at the right time, that can start a fire. Now, a fire basically in a cave, not a good idea. So this is what a traditional starter would look like. It does all of the functions that we talked about, but it's tailored to that specific application.
You can't use this in lots of different machines. It's just for the one machine, that's it.
Correct. What if we made it so that it could start anything? From a design perspective, that meant we had to accommodate not just the application that one would be engineered to, but all of the applications that any starter could be engineered to. So it raised the bar fairly substantially. Fundamentally, this is just a switch, right? This is on and off. But doing on and off for something that's megawatts in size becomes something of an engineering exercise. And when it needs to go off, it needs to be able to go off and dissipate an enormous amount of energy. Enough that the copper that's inside there literally gets vaporised and it paints the inside with a conductive coating. People are now familiar with interacting with touch screens and graphical user interfaces. Have a go. You should be able to turn that on fairly easily.
I just press play.
And away she goes.
Rockstarter shows the power of Australian innovation, and it's great to see that their creator continues to invest in the education, training, and the future of the Australian manufacturing industry.
In this series, we've introduced the Friedman Accelerator Award. Peter Friedman will handpick a startup innovator from the series for mentoring and to introduce them to Rode Microphone's business networks on the Australian and international stage. The winner will be announced later in the series.
While it may seem a little bit brutal, I'm going to be looking for people who've actually achieved success, but I'm going to help them nail it.
Still to come, Terry shows us a table that's smarter than your average table. Just 2 more innovations to go in this episode before we find out which projects our design industry judges select to go through to the final.
Furniture is often about joinery. Here's a joining system that leaves the tongue and groove for dust.
Cult Design is renowned as an iconic design destination, widely known for importing European design classics. And they still do that. But lately, there's been a change in the air.
Well, what we've found over the last few years is there's a real appetite for Australian design. Interior designers are specifying it, customers are asking for it. The Now collection provides a platform for us to be able to keep Australian designers here in Australia.
But Jeff, we're not here to talk about the current Now collection, are we?
No, we've been working on something that's super exciting and we can't wait to show you.
So Adam, it's only been on the market for a short period of time. It's already won 2 design awards. Help me out here. What is it?
It's a new table system. The main design element is this piece, which is the same cast piece, which comes together to yin and yang. There's these 15-degree increments, which inform these different positions, which then help create the shape of the tabletop.
So I understand that this is a component, but I'm really struggling to see a table.
Come this way, Terry. This is one we prepared earlier.
Ah, it's all making sense. This is the joint that we were looking at before.
So that's the knuckle at the top. This machine screw informs the orientation of the leg below. If I loosen that, I can change the direction of the leg, in which now it could become a trestle table.
So it's all these individual components that mean if your circumstances change, you can just create another table.
Yeah, that's right. So nothing is welded, we can disassemble them all and then we can reconfigure it into a second life.
That drives me nuts because when an office reconfigures, all those tables end up in landfill.
Well, that's the heart of the whole design, that we wanted to have a collection that we could also reuse and turn it into something else and keep it out of landfill. Change the 90 degrees to the 60 degrees, tighten it all up, fix the tabletop from underneath with some screws.
And mission accomplished. I can see now why it's named Chameleon, able to adapt to any environment. In our disposable society, this deceptively simple design is quietly fighting the battle against landfill, one office space at a time.
My 18-year-old daughter loves to spend time with her friends, but splitting bills can sometimes split relationships. This new app is going to help people manage their money and avoid those awkward conversations.
Money. We love to talk about it, but sometimes we don't like to talk about it. We're out with friends and the bill comes, and often there's that awkward moment where we try to figure out who should pay for what. Surely there's a better way.
Hi Paul, welcome to our little group. I thought this would be a good idea to introduce you to our app, UChamp. Let me first add you to the group. And then what we're going to do today is have a small picnic. And John, can you please buy us a bottle of wine? Ivy, can you please do us some cheese? Gokche, something meaty, chicken maybe? Yeah? If you could please help us maybe with some cutlery and
Sure.
snacks. Okay, let's do this. We'll be back in 10.
Okay, see you in 10. Okay, so how does UChamp work?
Oh, well, it's exactly what we've done today. So all of us went our way. We've got a few things together. We're having a nice picnic. And see, today money has been the least of our problems. At the end of the day, we go in the payment section, and in the history you will see how much I owe you, what needs to be charged and what needs to be paid. However frequently you want to settle, you settle, maybe weekly, monthly or whatever it is that you agree, and you just automate the process. Once I accept charges, it takes money from my account and puts into your account.
And all of this is transparent for the group?
Everything is transparent. So that's the whole idea of this. Focus on the fun. Focus on the best bits of being amongst your loved ones and let UChamp do the rest.
So, UChamp is shifting some of the difficult conversations away from the picnic rug to the digital world, freeing us up to talk about some of the nicer things in life.
More wine, Paul?
Oh, don't mind if I do.
And now it's time to find out which innovations from this episode have been selected by our judges to go through to the best of the best final later in the series.
I'm so excited about Febridix. It's a great design that not only can transform the way and where of how we diagnose quite common ailments, it's going to have an impact on the way that we treat and manage superbugs into the future.
The Bottle Go is really something special. I'm proud to have it in the show. I know everybody else is. This can save people's lives.
Well, congratulations to Febridex and Bottle Go for making it through the top 10 finals later on in the series. Join us next time on Australia by Design for more great innovation from around the country. For more information on any of today's innovations, go to australiabydesign.com.au.